he had felt the need to know more of Thoreau and so had studied the other writings. In 1958, Martin Luther King wrote these words, quote, "As I thought further, I came to see that what we were really doing was withdrawing our cooperation from an evil system, rather than merely withdrawing our economic support from the bus company. The bus company, being an external expression of the system, would naturally suffer, but the basic aim was to refuse to cooperate with evil. At this point, I began to think about Thoreau's essay on civil disobedience. I remembered how, as a college student, I had been moved when I first read this work. I became convinced that what we were preparing to do in Montgomery was related to what Thoreau had expressed. We were simply saying to the white community, we can no longer lend our cooperation to an evil system," unquote. On December 8, 1859, Thoreau himself wrote as follows, quote, "200 years ago is about as great an antiquity as we can comprehend or often have to deal with. It is nearly as good as 2,000 to our imaginations. It carries us back to the days of Aborigines and the Pilgrims, beyond the limits of oral testimony, to history which begins already to be enameled with the gloss of fable. And we do not quite believe what we read. To a strange style of writing and spelling and of expression, to those ancestors whose names we do not know, and to whom we are related only as we are to the race generally. It is the age of our very oldest houses and cultivated trees. Nor is New England very peculiar in this. In England also, a house 200 years old, especially if it be a wooden one, is pointed out as an interesting relic of the past," unquote. I have wanted in this work to give another opportunity for us, whether of one nation or another, to examine again, as Thoreau continually did, ourselves, both as individuals and as members of society, and the world in which we live, whether it be concord in Massachusetts or discord in the world, as our nations, apparently for the continuance, as though they were children playing games, prefer to have it. It may seem to some that through the use of chance operations, I run counter to the spirit of Thoreau, and 76, and Revolution for that matter. The 5th paragraph of Walden speaks against blind obedience to a blundering oracle. However, chance operations are not mysterious sources of, quote, the right answers, unquote. They are means of locating a single one among a multiplicity of answers, and at the same time of freeing the ego from its taste and memory, its concern for profit and power, of silencing the ego so that the rest of the world has a chance to enter into the ego's own experience, whether that be inside or outside. I have given this work the proportions of my silent piece, which I wrote in 1952, although I was already thinking of it earlier. When I was 12, I wrote a speech called Other People Think, which proposed silence on the part of the USA as preliminary to solution of its Latin American problems. Even then, our industrialists thought of themselves as owners of the world, of all of it, not just the part between Mexico and Canada. Now our government thinks of us also as policemen of the world, no longer rich policemen, just poor ones, but nonetheless on the side of good and acting as though possessed of the power. The desire for the best and most effective in connection with the highest profits and the greatest power has led to the fall of nations before us: Rome, Britain, Hitler's Germany. Those were not chance operations. We would do well to give up the notion that we alone can keep the world in line, that only we can solve its powers. More than anything else, we need communion with everyone. Struggles for power have nothing to do with communion. Communion extends beyond borders. It is with one's enemies also. Thoreau said, quote, "The best communion men have is in silence," unquote. Our political structures no longer fit the circumstance of our lives. Outside the bankrupt cities, we live in megalopolis, which has no geographical limits. Wilderness is global park. I dedicate this work to the USA. May it become just another part of the world. No more, no less. John Cage. And just one last short reading. The Columbus Dispatch, Thursday, May 6, 2010. High 71, low 52. Today's weather, morning, partly sunny, 54 degrees. Afternoon, partly sunny and cooler, 71 degrees. Overnight, clear or partly cloudy, 52 degrees low. Thursday, 71 degrees high, 54 degrees low. Partly to mostly sunny and slightly cooler. Friday, scattered showers and thunderstorms, high 83 degrees, low 52 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny and cool, 60 degrees high, 36 degrees low. Sunday, partly cloudy and much cooler, 57 degrees high, 47 degrees low. Monday, sunny and cool, 65 degrees high, 38 degrees low. Tuesday, 71 degrees high, 38 degrees low, increasing clouds with late day showers. Wednesday, scattered showers, 75 degrees high, 52 degrees low. Thank you.